All right, Upreach. I apologize for not doing this one last week, but more important that I get this week out because we are kind of transitioning into the second half of the 12-week cycle that I wrote. If you were in class this last week, I talked about how I wrote a 12-week cycle for you guys, and last week was week 6, so we were at the halfway mark. That is why we tested 3 rep maxes. We kind of spent the first half of the cycle doing what I call the not I call it's called the accumulation phase for our strength. So higher reps. We didn't get super heavy. We did get heavy there kind of near the end of it. But again, you guys tested your 3 rep max, not a true 1 rep max. If you were here last week and you were able to build to a heavy for your 3 rep max, that's kind of the weight that we're going to use for some of the percentages moving forward. And I'm going to talk about what we're doing now for that strength, which will eventually culminate in a true 1 rep max for you guys. So this is 12 weeks of strength training on the same 3 movements. This is that boring work that a lot of CrossFit gyms won't do because, it just takes, 12 weeks. That's 3 months. Most members get bored or they want to move on. But if you want to make meaningful changes in your strength, this is what it takes. Now, some of you guys have already hit new 1 rep maxes, which is awesome. We're going to really see that number skyrocket for you guys because now the next 5-ish weeks, we're going to be working with pretty heavy weight all 5 weeks. And I'm going to talk about how we're going to do that. So, what you'll see, maybe looks weird if you guys are looking at Sugar WOD, but let's take a look at Monday. You see 3 sets of 9. You're like, what, 9? That's weird. If you go look at the athlete notes, what I say in there is we're doing something called cluster sets. Now, maybe some of you have done this before. I have programmed cluster sets in the past, but it's been a while. What a cluster set is a cool training tool to be able to use heavy weight and still get in a good amount of volume. So what you're going to do is you're going to take about 75 to 80% of last week's 3 rep max. Okay, so take whatever your heaviest weight was, go find what 75, 80% is. That's the weight you're going to use. But you're not going to do 9 reps straight. Okay, wouldn't be able to do that probably. What you're going to do is you're going to do essentially 3 sets of 3. So you're going to, on the squat, walk it out. You're going to do 3 reps, and then you're going to rack it. And then you're going to rest 15, 20 seconds. You're going to unrack it. You're going to go do 3 reps. You're going to rack it. Rest 15-ish seconds, 20 seconds, unrack, and hit your final set of 3. So it's like 3 sets of 3, 3 sets of 3, 3 sets of 3, right? Those 3 clustered sets equal 9 total reps. Okay, so that's kind of how you can think about this. We're going to go on a 3.5-minute clock, give you a little bit more time. It's only 3 sets instead of 5 sets that we've been doing. But you're able to work with decently heavy weight. I mean, 75 to 80% of your guys' 3 rep max is heavy, right? But because you're getting that little itty bitty break of 15 to 20 seconds in between, should be able to do for all 3 sets. And so this is how you get really incredible nervous system adaptation doing this. It's a really cool training tool. You're taking just enough rest so the nervous system can recover just enough to go do those reps again type of thing. And so we're going to be using clusters kind of leading all the way up to our 1 rep max, more or less. Once we get up to our heaviest, we'll just do true like 1 or 2 reps at a time, but nonetheless. So that's what we have on Monday. Back squat cluster sets, 3 by 3 dot, how it would be written normally is 3 dot 3 dot 3, and the dot signifies the rest. Okay, so Metcon on Monday, new era, because it's a new era of programming. Not really, but it's just, second half of this cycle. 6 single arm devil's press. Again, burpee down to the ground, swinging the dumbbell up and overhead. 3 per side. Normal 50-pound dumbbell for the guys, 35 for the ladies. 12 toes to bar, 24 double unders. Just a very good mover, 12 minutes. Hopefully you guys should feel good on that. If you need to modify the dumbbell weight, modify the dumbbell weight. Toes to bar, all of our normal mods. And then double unders, we can modify to singles or 24. Like, I like doing some of these like smaller reps for double unders because some of you guys that are hit or miss with them, you have the opportunity to just like go for it. And you're not going to spend all day on them because it's only 24. Maybe do 24 attempts, something like that. So that's what we got on Monday. Tuesday, we have a 5-round workout where each round is for time. So you're gonna have to keep track of your round times. So again, anytime we do this, it's sprints, right? 12 cow bike for the guys, 10 cow bike for the ladies, and 6 clean and jerks. This equals Grace, 5 times 6, which is why I did that. But with the bike in there, resting 90 seconds in between, like what's that barbell cycling capacity? You could choose to do singles if you really want to test yourself and see what you're made of. Try to do touch and go. And instead of being like, I'm going to save myself and try to get the best score possible, maybe instead be like, I'm going to get a training stimulus of, can I hold on to the bar after my heart rate is spiked? Like that's a different training stimulus than just trying to, get the fastest time possible. It's a great training stimulus, mental training stimulus as well. So RX weight is 135.95. That's our grace weight. It should be a weight, that you can do relatively quick. If you're doing singles, you're doing touch and go, whatever it is, you're going to rest 90 seconds in between. During that time, calculate your score. Sugar WOD's going to average this, right? Because if you are somebody that has like a steep fall off or something like that, it'll pull that average down. We should have some time afterwards to do some accessory. 12 barbell rollouts. These are like ab wheels. We don't have ab wheels, but you take the barbell with like a set of like 25s on them, roll out, roll back in. Good core work. And then AMRAP banded pull aparts using a red, blue band. You guys can even use the TheraBands. You're just going until the burn is too much. Rest 90 seconds or so in between. Bench press, cluster sets. It's the same exact setup. For the strength movements, the back squat, the bench press, and the deadlift, it's the same exact thing. 3 reps, racket, rest 15, 20 seconds. 3 reps, racket, rest 15 to 20 seconds, etc. Right? On a 3.5 minute clock. So it's very straightforward. You guys all understand the flow the whole time. Make sure you have spotters, etc. Then we have a sprint workout that's going to be really testy here. 30, 20, 10, hang power snatch and overhead squat, but it's 75, 55. That's one of those you guys can, test your mental capacity to hold onto the bar. Can you do 30 hang power snatches unbroken at that light of a weight? Can you go right into somebody out there? My test for somebody out there in our community, can you do the first round of 30 hang power snatch right into 30 overhead squats unbroken? I have like maybe a handful of people in my mind that could flirt with that. That would be crazy. Now you might be tanked for the 20 and 10, but again, that's a great, like, I don't know, can I do that? Like sometimes not caring about your, because some people be like, well, I don't want to do that. That's going to tank me. And then I'm going to get a bad score. Well, for your fitness, you might be able to push yourself way farther than you think you could physically because you cared more about, the process than the end result there. Anyways, it's a 10-minute time cap. I don't think anybody's going to flirt with that cap. With fast overhead squats, you guys got to make sure your hips are locking out. Some of you hips stay closed. So make sure that's being called out. You can scale the weight. Obviously, overhead squat is tough for people. So if you got to go, with a barbell or something like that, go ahead. Then we have half Murph. So we're getting closer and closer to actual Murph. This is the full kind of like half Murph. You can break it up however you want to as far as the 50, 100, 150 on the inside. You could do 10 rounds of 5, 10, 15. That's totally fine. But you're going to do an 800-meter run first. You got 50, 100, 150, like I said, and then you're going to finish with an 800. As always, if you're going to wear a vest for Murph, wear a vest now. Get yourself acclimated to it, especially in this humidity and everything like that. I would not be surprised if it's going to be humid on the day we do Murph. 30-minute time cap. And so, this will give you a great idea if you're going to come do Murph, how you should do Murph. Some people this is how they're going to do Murph. They're going to do half Murph. So if you're the person that's going to do half Murph on the day of Murph, maybe you do quarter Murph, or maybe you just come in and do it and see how it goes today. And then you can compare your time in the next couple of weeks when we do Murph on Memorial Day. Friday, again, I already said deadlift, cluster sets, it's the same. And then we have the workout called Dark Matter, 9 minutes, kind of upper body focused. We are going dual dumbbell or kettlebell. If we run out of dumbbells, or if you just want to use kettlebells, that's fine. Thruster, you're going 3, 6, 9, 12 on that. And you're pairing that with a wall walk. So this is going to get upper body kind of taxi, but the wall walks only go up by 1. So you do 3 thrusters, 1 wall walk, 6 thrusters, 2 wall walks, 9 thrusters, 3 wall walks. You can just divide the thruster number by 3, and that will give you your wall walk number. It's pretty straightforward. After you do your set of 12, 4, after you do set of 15, 5. Okay. So be a nice little pump, but it's only 9 minutes. So, yeah, hopefully it's not too crazy taxing there. You can obviously scale the thruster weight, the dumbbells and the kettlebells. Wall walk, as always, we can modify by doing an abbreviated wall walk. We can do a box walk. We can do a walkout to a push-up. So that's what we got for this week. Again, transitioning to the second phase of this, and I'm so excited to see the numbers you guys hit on your 1 rep maxes when we get to the end of the cycle, because I've seen so many people already hitting PRs, like taking new 1 rep maxes for 3 reps last week, which is crazy. It's awesome. So that's what we got this week, and I will see you guys in the gym. Let's have a kick-ass week, everybody.